CGL pipeline cuts through the heart of the Yintah. Over 1/4 of the 670-kilometer pipeline crosses it. That blast was part of CGL's construction along Selkayakwa, or Lamprey Creek. It was illegally close to residences, but police ignored homeowner concerns. Construction requires blasting, clear-cutting, bank restructuring, and digging a trench completely across it. Selkayakwa is a spawning channel for steelhead trout and coho salmon, both in decline because of industrial intrusions, and home to the lamprey eel, an at-risk species and a staple food of the Wet'suwet'en. CGL has also drilled under the Wet'suwet'en, or Maurice River. This river is sacred to the Wet'suwet'en. It is critical to the longevity of their culture as well as the health of a significant ecosystem. Drilling occurred during salmon spawning, also illegal, but ignored by governments. CGL claims they are using the safest drilling technology available. They admit that the method has routine risks, so it isn't safe, just the safest. For the Wet'suwet'en and indigenous people globally, these aren't just waterways, they are sentient beings, relatives. CGL is inflicting life-threatening abuse on both. And there are others. The pipeline crosses about 625 streams, creeks, rivers, and lakes, and most of CGL's violations are related to these entities. For these and many more reasons, the hereditary chiefs have opposed the pipeline route since its inception. Given that the Supreme Court had ruled that they had exclusive use and occupation of the land, Wet'suwet'en land defenders set up blockades when pipeline construction began. With land defender barriers in place, CGL went to court to get an injunction. In hand, CGL had the 2015 approval from the BC Environmental Assessment Office, the BC Oil and Gas Commission permits, and agreements from 20 First Nations. Injunctions are issued by the BC Supreme Court, which has an historical thread of Indigenous racism. Everything about the approval, permitting, and injunction process has been insensitive to, even contemptuous of, Wet'suwet'en rights and laws. It's as if the Supreme Court of Canada ruling never happened and that the Wet'suwet'en don't exist. Predictably, injunctions have been repeatedly granted since 2019, and the RCMP was immediately deployed to enforce them. As for their part in this, the Wet'suwet'en are unarmed and opposed to violence. All they have been doing is peacefully standing up for Wet'suwet'en rights on Wet'suwet'en land, as established through 250 years of Canadian law, and standing in the way when those rights are violated. The invasion unit is CURG, a special branch of the RCMP created in 2017 to neutralize environmental protesters and land defenders. CURG has a thoroughly documented record of racism, misogyny, and contempt for civil liberties, yet they have been deployed to the Yintah without oversight or accountability. Beginning in early 2022, CURG significantly ramped up its actions with continuous surveillance, harassment, intimidation, and trespass, anywhere and everywhere, at all times of day and night.
Private property on my name. You can phone these people. It's private property. You guys have no rights to be here whatsoever.
It's not your property.
It is so. It's right here.
It's Crown land, miss.
Who the hell told you it's Crown land? Where the hell did you get that idea from? This is Cassia territory. My house. How would you guys feel if I did that to you guys and went up to your homes? Walk into your yards and just start knocking everything down. You're not allowed here. You need a warrant. Move. This is my house. Who the fuck you guys think you can just walk in here and do this? I'm an elder here. I sleep here. You guys have to come here and wake me up?
CGL, backed by CURG, has been making it impossible for the Wet'suwet'en to live on their own land. CURG itself has been making it impossible for them to even live in their own homes. The BC government shirks responsibility for CURG with clever one-liners like, "Governments do not direct the courts, nor do we direct the RCMP," or "It is not the government of the day that directs police to do their work." This is Kyrgyz is on the Yintah only because the pipeline was approved and permitted. Both the approver and permitter come under government ministries. The BC government, through its own agencies, built the road for the invasion. And though courts apply the law and police enforce the law, it is elected representatives who make the law. At the end of the day, BC can turn to the federal government because the RCMP are under the direction of the Federal Minister of Public Safety. So the truth is the government does direct the RCMP. That's the law. A cautionary note. When they realize that the one-liners and other obfuscations have failed, these clever people just change the subject, and their favorite go-to seems to be the 2020 Memorandum of Understanding. MOU details are way too much for now, but the unpaltered facts are clear. For governments, the MOU was a public relations coup. For the Wet'suwet'en, it was a betrayal.